For fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off your order. Yo, what's good guys, Venom Fire here, back to the video, and today me bringing you guys yet another blitz and pass coverage. This is probably my favorite one of the year. I know in a lot of these defensive videos so far in the year, I've shown you guys like a couple of setups and wanted you to just adjust with them as you play on. For this one, I got a great just universal setup that you can do versus pretty much any offense, and I think that's really going to be helpful for you guys. First things first, we are going to be the Baltimore Ravens defensive playbook. The reason for that is we are in the big dime 1-4-6 formation. I already showed off a cover 2 sink blitz out of this. If you haven't seen that, make sure you guys go check it out. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the cover 3 sky play. In this year, I love cover 3 sky over those cover 2 sink type plays. I like the cover 3 shell to adjust out of a little bit better than cover 2 myself. Again, that's all personal preference, but in my opinion, it's going to be a lot better. So first things first, just out of the formation, one thing you can have is you can just have safeties at linebacker if you want. For this player, it's not going to matter. You will see why in a little bit, but I'm basically going to talk about the blitz and then how I like to bluff out of it, because the blitz is only half the thing. The other half is adjusting out of it. Once you get him blocking that player every single time to block your blitz, then you can start exposing him, just only rushing 3, getting him to block 7. So let's just jump straight into it with the big dime 1-4-6. Again, I'm running cover 3 sky, and I'll just start out against a little base spread offense, but yeah, I'll catch you guys on the field. Alright guys, back out on the field here. You see we're going against a spread. For this first setup, I'm just going to be going against a 5-man protection on offense. As we move on to the video, I'll show you it blocking the running back. Maybe they block tight end, or I switch different formations on offense. But for this first setup, again, I'm just going to be talking about the blitz, how it works against the offensive protection, and then later in the video, I'll show you my adjustments on if I decide to do a bluff blitz or things like that. So the first setup is just going to be simply spread your D-line out, or spread your D-line outside, which will be D-pad to the left and that left stick up. The next thing you're going to do is press your defense, and then what you do is you go ahead, block A, or blitz A. So you're blitzing this A linebacker. That's kind of one of the reasons why I mentioned it doesn't necessarily matter if it's a safety for the blitz setup actually. So you're just going to blitz him. The last thing that you're going to do, at least for the blitz, and then we have a couple of backside adjustments, is you're going to just go ahead, move that cornerback in, and then contain. So I'm just going to move him in and contain. Make sure that the cornerback is the one on the contain. He should be around right there. Again, he doesn't have to be in the exact spot. It doesn't necessarily matter too much. So there is a look at our setup. Now we're going to show you how you can adjust out of this. So first things first, what I like to do on this left side is I like to just man up both of these players, at least in a spread sense. So it'll look like this. And then what I do with this X linebacker, the other linebacker that's not on the blitz, I'm going to go ahead, throw him on a curl flat. So it's going to look like this. Again, a little bit of a weird coverage. But what we do on this right-hand side, and make sure that you always have the man coverage players on the wide side of the field, because on the short side, you're going to want to have this cover 2 that I'm going to set up. So I'm going to put B on a cloud flat and RB or R1 on a deep half. Now, again, cover 2 really is terrible on the wide side of the field, so that's why I make sure that it's always on the short side of the field. Again, if he is in the middle hash, you can't really control that, but you still see, you know, here's a look at our defense, and you notice that I'm using the free safety. So right here, basically what I have to use is the deep responsibility. So I'm pretty much watching any, you know, quick breaking routes, and maybe I'm watching like a quick slant from the left slot wide receiver, and then I can lurk back to a deep post from A or B or X. Again, the man coverage should do the job, but the last adjustment you're going to do is just shade over the top. What that's going to do is it's going to make your cloud flat not press, and it's going to make those man coverage players not press as well, so that you don't get burnt over the top. But with that being said, let's just go ahead, have the computer go ahead, hike the ball, and you see, look at the cornerback shoot through the gap. Now, I've labbed this a lot. I was trying to learn how to set up the blitz the best way, and sometimes you can get away with not blitzing that linebacker on the right side. So here I'll just set it up very briefly, just set up the blitz, not even any backside adjustments. So you'll notice that the linebacker on the right's not blitzing. Now take a look at it, and sometimes this blitzer will come free, sometimes he won't. And again, it really is a dice roll, but you see right there, he gets picked up. So that's the reason pretty much that you have to go ahead and blitz that linebacker again. I tried that probably around 50 times, and probably around 15 he did end up getting free on that blitz. But again, it's a little bit too risky for me to just run and tell you guys that it's the best blitz in the game. So I would rather show you guys a guarantee and then just adjust out of it the best way that you can. But again, it will be a 5-man blitz. It's not going to be as good as the cover 2 sink blitz in my opinion, but again, I feel like I have better backside adjustments out of the cover 3 shell. So again, I'll set up the blitz that does work. We will spread our D-line outside. We will go ahead, press, blitz that A linebacker manually, and then we will go ahead, contain, and you can just move that cornerback in right in his spot right about there. Again, we're turning the right side of the field into a cover 2, and we are turning the left side of the field into a 2-man under. So it'll look like this. Go ahead, shade over the top, and then the last thing you do is you put X on a curl flat. Again, as far as your zone drops are concerned, I would maybe set cloud flats to 10 to 15 yards. And the reason for that is it's on the short side of the field, so it's not necessarily, too big of a worry. As far as curl flats, I would probably turn that up to defend, maybe a deep crosser from right to left, or even a corner out or C route, whatever the case may be. But again, really what I have to watch with my user is A on maybe a drag route or B on a drag route. Again, if I wanted to, I could always do something like this, just man up the entire field, do something like that. But again, I like the little zone coverage. And again, man coverage obviously is the easiest defense to run this year. But I like to adjust out of it because I don't think man's going to be good all year long. I want to start learning zone coverage now so that when it becomes a meta or it just man becomes unusable, I'm ready to go. So again, we'll go ahead, snap the football right there. You see the cornerback shoot free. And again, we have the contain on the left side. So even if, let's say, they pick up the pressure, they try to roll out to the other side, then they're going to be sacked by our contain. I know contains haven't worked as well as I would have liked this year, but they still are definitely decent. You can still adjust out of it. So I'll just show the blitz one more time, and then we'll head into some of the bluff blitz adjustments. So again, what you're doing is you're pressing, you're blitzing that linebacker, putting X in that curl flat. And again, this is a lot of adjustments, I will say. So obviously, you might want to go in practice mode, practice this yourself if you are not too good with the adjustments. But again, basically you're just going to spread your D-line, you're going to manually blitz that A linebacker, then you're going to press, contain, man up the left side of the field, and do a little cover 2 on the right side. And again, that's a lot of adjustments. I know it's a lot of backside adjustments, but with these passers, they're going to be making a lot of hot routes too. So if time is your concern, then I don't think it should be too big of an issue as far as that's concerned. But again, user this player, and obviously the pressure is going to come through very quickly. So in the case that they don't pick it up, your backside of adjustments aren't even too big of a worry. But with that being said, let's go ahead, hop into our bluff blitz setup. Alright guys, now I mentioned the blitz setup, the blitz 5 blitz setup, but really where this blitz becomes dangerous and this play in general is when you can bluff your opponent, get him to block people. Now this year in the passing game, it's very popular to send all 5 players out on a route and really block nobody, because there hasn't been a blitz that has made you have to block your running back every play or have to block a tight end. And that's really difficult to defend on the defensive side of the ball. But what this blitz does is you're going to start getting it free. A lot of times in the beginning of the games, your opponent's probably not going to block his running back, so this blitz might shoot for you one time and then he'll start blocking him every time. He might be stubborn, you might get it to work twice, whatever the case may be. But really what happens after the blitz is the key to your game plan. So again, I want the blitz to look the exact same way, so I'm going to do all of the adjustments the same, but not really. I'm going to make it look the same, but the adjustments will be different. So here, again, we set it up. The play art looks the exact same on the offensive side of the ball. But what you do out of this is what I like to do is actually double flat this side. And you can actually run this from the wide side if I wanted to. So what I could do is maybe I just flip the play. I get it to look like this. And then I can do whatever I want. Or I can, put A on the curl flat. So I could just flip it and then get the flat on the wide side. Typically, I like the hard flat on the wide side rather than the short side, because the short side's a lot easier to use in case there was a drag. So this would pretty much be my play art if I were bluff blitzing. And again, obviously you kind of want to keep these players on the line of scrimmage. If you click on, they will move back. So really, this players, you just want to keep them on. And if you accidentally click on, just user him. But again, you can also put a safety in that spot, so it doesn't really matter that it's a slow linebacker in this case. But here's a look at the setup. You see, very solid. And again, the only route that we're too worried about is maybe a drag from left to right or just a quick streak, and then I can lurk down. So we'll have them go ahead, snap the football here, lurking everything, and again, the out route might get open, so if I notice him throwing him on an out route, not a corner route, then I can adjust out of that. But again, just press, spread that D-line, move this player in, and then I can either flip my entire play like this, where I just adjust out of it. And basically what I mean by flip it is this player was in the inside third, I just moved him to the curl flat, moved him to the inside third, so that I got the hard flat on the wide side. But if I don't want to do that, I can obviously just flip my player. I forgot to do that because I didn't go back into the main menu, but you can do that so you don't have to do all those weird adjustments. But again, also if I notice him just putting him on a hard flat or whatever the case may be, I can obviously adjust and just man him up, do something like that, and then maybe I throw A on the curl flat. Again, mix up your coverages, never keep the same thing. And again, I could also even run this out of like a cover 2 and still just keep that cornerback in, give him the exact same look, but just run like a cover 4 or cover 2, maybe a 2-man under. But again, you're giving him the same look, he's going to think it's a cover 3, and right here he probably thinks it's a cover 2 because you see the 2 deep safeties. If he's really good, he should know how to adjust out of that. But again, you just see the base play, look at that, just absolutely everything covered. We end up getting the sack, and again, if you have good enough D-line, you should be able to do work with this defense. You don't have to contain per se, but if they're scrambling out of the pocket, you can always just contain even if you are rushing 3. But anyways, that's pretty much going to do for the video. If you guys enjoyed this style of video, let me know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so hit that sub button. And yeah, leave me a follow on Twitter. Link will be in the description. And yeah, peace. I'm out of here.